Good morning. Welcome to episode 28 of Rudolph's Mountains. And the number 28 has a bit more meaning today, which I'll explain to you a little later. But we are back in the Arenigs, starting off in a commercial forest, which is never my favourite thing. But it won't be long, hopefully, before we're breaking out onto the hillside. So I'll update you then. Oh wow, it's so nice when you break out of the forest. These little dotted lines you see on the map aren't always there, and sometimes it can get really hard going. But it's been fine, boggy in places, but we've had a lot of rain recently. This next section is pretty pathless. We're doing some of the eastern Arenigs today. There's 3 to do in total that you'd normally do with Arenig Fach, but we've done Arenig Fach before, and so I've managed to create a little route, a bit of a figure of 8, which takes in these 3 tops and doesn't involve too much in the way of repetition. But anyway, the next section, as I say, is pathless, so I've got to follow a bit of a compass bearing, and we shall pick up a good trail a bit later. Wow, that was a boggy section. I've wearing my new boots for the first time today. My old hamwags that have served me well for many years. They've always been a little bit leaky if you're on a very wet day. But more recently I'm tipping water at my boots at the end, which is no fun. So I've gone back to Scarpa's, got a pair of Scarpa Boreas, and it's going to be a big test for them today because the ground is very, very wet. Nice and comfy, nice and dry so far. Oh my dear. There's just a million muddy patches like this one here that we've got to try and navigate our way around. I'm hoping as we get a bit higher, this won't be so much of a problem. But for now I'm just continuing to follow this fence, and I've got another 2 big boggy sections to get through. So yeah, let's try and find a way around there. Right, I've found the main path now. This will take us pretty much all the way to the top of our first Nuttall. A few junctions here and there. There's a fork in the path coming up where we've got to turn left. And then it's just up. It's a beautiful day, and what I haven't mentioned so far is today we've got a rare weather event called a temperature inversion. I've only experienced one before, but it's, in theory, the higher we get, the warmer it'll get. And if you spent a lot of time in the mountains, you'll know that's normally the other way around. So I'm quite excited to see whether that happens or not. It's very breezy, a lot windier than I expected. But a beautiful day, early October, and it's just fantastic to be in the mountains. Right, we've taken the right hand fork in the path, and that takes us downhill for a bit. We lose about 50 metres, but if I turn you around and show you, we then pick up the path on the other side, and that actually takes us up to our first top. You can just about see the path over there. It's an absolutely stunning day, quite breezy, but the breeze is fairly warm, and so it's lovely. I'm really enjoying myself. Right, we have had a lot of rain recently, but I've never seen so much water in here before. The stepping stones that you'd normally use are underwater. I'll have a little look about, see if we can find the way across. I was hoping to come down there later. It looks very rough. Might not be the best idea. I'll have a look, maybe there's an alternative. But first things first, got to find a way across this stream. Wow, that was a bit hairy. Ooh. Anyway, I've made it over, and it does appear to be a little path on the other side of the stream, a track of sorts. So maybe my plan to come down there will work, but it does mean I've got to go over there again if I come that way. Not sure what to do. Anyway, we can delay that decision until later on. Right, our highest top of the day, Carnedd-Y-Filiast, is just over there, and but the one we want to do first is just past that one, and it's an out and back, and it's a Waun Garnedd-Y-Filiast, cairn of the Greyhound Moor. So we're going to head over to that one first, then we'll come back to Carnedd-Y-Filiast, which is our highest top of the day at 669 metres. This is where we leave the main path and head over towards our first Nuttall of the day. Right then, welcome to the top of Waun Garnedd-Y-Filiast. There's a little cairn down there, which is marvellous. Very windy up here, I'm not entirely sure how much you'll be able to hear of me. But one of the things I noticed last time I had a day with a temperature inversion is that the clarity of the air is absolutely incredible. So I'll go to the camera now and give you a quick panorama of the top here. It's very windy, it's probably too windy for Daisy. So over there you can see the Carnedd, then the Llechwedd-Llyfn. Beyond that, Arenig Fach. And then around to the Waun. Where we're heading next over there, Carnedd-Y-Filiast. Arenig Fach popping up in the horizon, then the Arenigs, and then finally over there the bearings. What a fantastic top. I'm not sure how much of that you'll have heard with the wind, but we'll find out when we try and edit it later. I'm not going to hang around here. I'm going to go straight over to Carnedd-Y-Filiast, the highest top of the day. It's got a wind shelter up there, so we'll be able to get out the wind and have a little break. Wow, what a day. It's absolutely gorgeous. First things first, I've got to get over this fence again. Right, this is the top of Carnedd-Y-Filiast, tallest one we'll do today. There's one more to do over there. Here's a little panorama from the top of Carnedd-Y-Filiast. Let's have a little sit down and have a bite to eat. Let's get somewhere out the wind. I mentioned earlier that episode 28 had a bit of more significance than normal, and that's because yesterday was my 28th wedding anniversary. I've been married to Caroline all that time, and you know, it's been fantastic. Loved every minute. Well, maybe not loved every minute. If you know us, you'll know that over 16 years ago now, Caroline was diagnosed with leukemia, and so every 3 months we have blood tests, and then we wait the results, and we hope we're going to have another 3 months and that the disease isn't progressing. But if anything, having that little reminder every 3 months that life isn't forever makes you cherish the time together all the more. And I've mentioned before that I've been lucky in my life, and this is another example of that really. And when Caroline was diagnosed, there's a new drug that came out, and it's massively changed the outlook for people with her type of leukemia, and it's managed to control her disease all this time, which is just fantastic. I've been so lucky. You know, it's not all roses. The lots of really bad side effects which affects quality of life, but there's life, and so we cherish it. Anyway, our next top is just behind me over there, and then we've got to decide which way we're going to go down. So without further ado, let's get cracking. Right, I'm reaching the bottom of the dip between Llechwedd-Llyfn and Llechwedd-Llyfn, which is our next stop. And I'm in the bog zone, just down there, just trying to plot a way across. I need to do a bit of exploring. I think I'm going to head over to try and go next to the fence. I can always cling on to the fence if need be. Ooh. Not too bad. Right, that's all down. We're climbing now. Right, we've reached the parlour stones, which is down there, which means now we turn left 90 degrees and make our way over to the top of Carnedd-Y-Filiast. And you know what, it's absolutely gorgeous up here, absolutely gorgeous. Very boggy, but beautiful. Right, this is the top of Carnedd-Y-Filiast. Oh, and it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Let me turn you around and show you the view. It's well worth. Oh look, let's start over there. At the Carnedd-Y-Filiast. Molens, Carnedd. There's Arenig Fach, which is supposed to do as part of this walk in the Nuttalls book, but I've done it. I wouldn't recommend it. It's a killer. And then continuing round to Arenig Fach, the Arenigs, and then over there the Bowens. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful. Now our plan for descent is just to walk off the edge of the hill and see if we can find a way down to the big path without having to cross that stream again. If it gets too rough, I'll have to contour around and try and pick up the stream, but we shall see how we get on. I've done plenty of rough terrain before, so we should be okay. But for now, I think there's one last opportunity to get Daisy out for the day. It's been very windy. Daisy's really struggled today. I'm not sure what sort of footage I'll get, but let's see what we can do this time. Daisy, over to you, sausage. Thank you, Daisy. Wow, that was a bit windy for you, wasn't it? Right, let's see if we can find our way down. So that cairn there is Llechwedd-Llyfn. It's not a Nuttall just because it's high enough, just hasn't got enough of a drop between it and Llechwedd-Llyfn. Making good progress. That over there is Waun Garnedd-Y-Filiast, and the path that I want is on the other side of it at about this height. So wherever I go up from here, I've got to come down the other side. There does appear to be some paths going up Waun Garnedd-Y-Filiast, and so it might mean a spot of heather bashing coming down, but if it cuts the corner and avoids us going through that flooded stream, it'll be a result. I've reached a barbed wire fence, and I thought it would follow the fence, it'll contour us around, and it does to a point. But the path I want is on the other side of the fence, so I've got to get over the barbed wire fence at some point. So I'll keep plodding along around here and look for an opportunity to scoot over. Well, I'm over the fence. There's a short section without any barbed wire, so I used that as an opportunity to jump over. Just contouring around now, and in theory he'll pick up the path reasonably shortly. Well, that's pretty much it for today. I'm about to re-enter the forest. It's been an amazing day. The views were better than I thought they'd be. It's been fantastic. So hope you've enjoyed this episode too, and I'll see you at the next one, all being well.